Chapter 2. The Voyage. Mr. Trelawney went to Bristol to buy the ship Jim stayed with Dr. Liveside and dreamed of the mysterious land and the buried treasure. Many weeks passed that a letter finally arrived for the doctor. Bristol. 3 March. There lives it, Liveside. The ship is ready to start our voyage. Its name is Hispaniola. The people here in Bristol are all very interested in this story about the treasure and helped me to find the ship. Then I met an old sailor with only one leg. His name is Long John Silver. He will be our cook on board. Poor man, he needed a job. Silver also helped me to find the rest of the crew. So come as fast as you can with him so we can start our adventure. John Trelawney. When Jim heard about the man with one leg, he remembered Will's bones and felt worried, but he said nothing. Jim and Dr. Liveside left that evening. They arrived in Bristol next morning and Squire Trelawney was waiting for them at an inn near the docks. Jim was too excited to eat his breakfast. He sat outside and watched the ships and the sailors at work. Then the squire told Jim to go to the spyglass in white and out for John Silver. Jim walked along the docks until he came to Silver's tavern. When he entered, he saw a tall man at the bar. The man had only one leg. He was smiling and seemed friendly. He doesn't look like an evil pirate, not like Black Dog and the Blind Man Pig, thought Jim. Excuse me, sir, said Jim. Are you Mr. Silver? Yes, answered the man. How can I help you? I have a letter for you from the squire. Ah, you must be our new cabin boy, said Silver. At the moment, a man at a table near them stood up and ran out the door. As he passed, Jim saw his face and cried, "Stop him! That's Black Dog." "Who?" asked Silver in surprise. "Who? He's a pirate. A pirate in tavern. Well, don't worry, my boy, you are safe with me. I won't let him come here again." Jim was now completely convinced that Silver was a good man. "Tell me, boy, what is your name?" "Hawkins, sir." "Jim Hawkins? Well, Hawkins," continued Silver, "you are a smart boy. You remember the face of that pirate. Let's go to Squire Trelawney and they'll hear the story. I am sure he'll be happy to hear you are a good boy." Jim felt very proud. He happily walked back along the docks with Silver to Squire. As they walked, Silver told Jim all about the different ships they could see in the port. At the inn, Silver told the squire and the doctor about Jim and they agreed. He was a smart boy. When Silver went away, Jim said, Squire Trelawney, I think Mr. Silver will be perfect for the voyage. Yes, I like him too, said the doctor. Good, said the squire. Let's go to the ship and see the new captain. His name is Smollett. When, when they boarded the Hispaniola, Captain Smollett asked to speak to the squire. Sir, he said, I don't like voyage for treasure. They're dangerous, especially when everybody knows about the treasure, the island, and the map. And I don't like the crew. Dr. Livesey looked at the squire in horror. Did you tell everyone about the map too? No, no, said the squire. Well, it doesn't matter who it was. No, say the doctor. You must keep arms on a board, continued the captain in case of mutiny. Mutiny? Said the squire. No, impossible. I chose the men myself. Some of the men are honest, said Captain Smollett, but I am not sure about Silverman. Will said. Will say the squire will thank Mr. Silvers is a good man, of assure his men are good too. It's your decision, said Captain Smollett, but be careful. Don't worry, Captain Smollett, we aren't stupid, said the squire. They spent the rest of the day preparing the ship. Early next morning they started their voyage of Treasure Island. The crew worked well and they all respect and obeyed Long John Silver, the cook. They called him Barbecue. He was kind to everybody and always had time for Jim. Silver had a parrot, and its name was Captain Flint, after the famous pirate. Famous pirate. Jim, my boy, that parrot is very old and has seen all of the world, said Silver one day. Jim loved to hear about Silver's adventures. Even, even Captain Smollett had started to think that the crew was good and he now loved the ship. The squire was also kind. There was always a barrel of apples on the ship for the men to eat. One night, after working hard, James decided to have an apple. He saw the barrel and climbed into it, but it was empty. Just then Silver came and sat near the barrel. He started talking to his men. He didn't know Jim was in the barrel listening. Silver and his men were planning to mutiny. Jim stayed in the barrel, too afraid to move. Flint, was our great captain, said Silver to his men, and we were the best pirates. We had some accidents with my leg. Pew, with his ace, but we had great adventures together. There was always a lot of blood, but lots of gold, too. We will wait until the doctor and the squire take us to the treasure. Then, when it is on board, we will kill those two fools, Smollett and that boy Hawkins. Inside the bar, Jim was furious. I must tell Squire and Dr. Livesey. He then someone shouted, "Long ahead! There in front of them was the island. In the confusion, Jim escaped from the bar. He found the doctor and said, Come to your cabin with Squire Trelawney and Captain Smollett. I have terrible news. In the cabin, Jim told him the whole story. Captain said, the squire you were right, we have a mutiny. That is not important. No, said Captain Smollett. There are 3 points to consider. First, we must go on. We can't turn back. Second, third, we must think of a plan before we find the treasure. Third, there are still some members of the crew who are not part of Silver's group. Counting us and Hawking, there are 7 of us against 19 of them, sighed the doctor. We must be positive, said the square. Silver likes Jim. He can be our spy, so we can organize our attack better. Jim promised to do his best to help.